Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below.
It is the 31st century, and mankind is once again at war. The battlefields of the future are dominated by huge robotic war machines known as battlemechs.
So, a while back, Professor Tex put out a thorough history and coverage of the Charger battlemech. As always, Tex and the guys over at the Black Pants Legion did an awesome job, and I enjoyed the video. I'm already looking forward to the next one. Tex made a lot of great points, but I do feel he missed one. While I agree the 1A1 Charger does have a terrible reputation, I believe the point of the 1A1 is being missed. Tex was very much correct that the Charger comes to us from a time of unprecedented bounty. To say that the Star League had money to burn would be an understatement. And defense contractors lapped up that money, creating any product they thought could sell. Tex also mentioned that during peacetime and weapons development, everything is just theory. Until weapons, equipment, tactics, and the other multitude of changes between the last war and the next war can be tested outside of labs and war games, well, it's just guesswork and theories. Tex touched on the intended uses of the Charger, and I think three stand out. First, as a scout. This seems to be the role the mech was designed for, but as Tex noted, well, it sucks in that role. It's big and expensive. Frankly, cheaper mechs can act as scouts far better than the Charger. The second was recon and force, the idea being that you go out looking for the enemy, and when you find him, you take him if you can, but if you can't, you're beefy enough to survive some contact. The Charger also sucks at this. Its speed and weapons mix just can't do much other than be a target. Finally, Tex presents the idea that the Charger was meant for civilian pacification. The dirty, nasty stuff best kept away from prying eyes. I do think that the Charger can do this job, but it lacks a major tool any such mech needs: flamers. Nothing can convince a crowd of, let's go with potential enemies of the state, to pack up their protest and go home quite like a short, intense, public, and very violent barbecue. No, I have a role for the Charger, one in which this machine excels, and I think Tex was following my road of logic. He just took an early exit. The Combine used the Charger because it had to. Nuclear apocalypses tend to be a little hard on technology, and at some point a weapon, any weapon that still works, becomes appealing. In Tex's explanation of its usage, he noted that the Charger was one of the few counters to the Demolisher. The 1A1 can close the distance, take a hit or two, then, as Tex so expertly put it,
but such brief, if inherited, primacy would not last, because there is a fairly awkward weapon system that can, if a pilot is crazy enough, stumble into, take a hit from, and then say hi to a Demolisher. This same system can then waffle stomp it into 2 dimensions. It can then find that one last guy who survived and decide whether or not to punt him back to his own lines before disappearing, war crimes unexplained, fading into the fog of war like a cryptid made of dying men's nightmares.
No one can turn a phrase quite like the Professor. By all appearance, the Combine had stumbled over a happy surprise, finding a role for something that really had none. My opinion is different. No, either intentionally or knowing the Combine very much unintentionally, they were using a feature designed into the Charger 1A1. So let's rewind a little. In those days, the Star League could design anything they wanted. They had stacks of cash and were looking to spend. Those roles typically assigned to mechs: Scout, Recon Enforce, Brawler, Support, Command, Sniper, and of course Trooper, well, simply did not apply to the Star League, at least not in the way we understand it. The SLDF had enough resources to pay to play in any game they wanted. If an SLDF general somewhere wanted a mech designed to deliver pizzas every Thursday at 3 p.m. and do absolutely nothing else, well, some firm somewhere could and probably would do it. While I do not believe the Charger was designed for that purpose, I put forward that the role the Charger was meant to fill and excels at is that of the tactical spotter. The Charger lacks the speed and communications equipment to fill the scout role, but it is fast enough to move from position to position, getting and keeping eyes on a dug-in enemy, sending that targeting data back to local forces, especially LRM boats. Wouldn't that be better suited to something like the Kentaro with its Narc, or the much, much, much faster Scout? And to that I say, no. While these mechs have their place, there is one major problem. A lucky hit or two, and they go down hard. The Charger 1A1 has speed fairly reasonable for a mech half its size, and as Tex pointed out, can and often does soak up damage that would cripple a lesser machine. I put forward that the Charger is meant to, well, charge across no man's land, knowing roughly but not exactly where the enemy is, get eyes on a target, and call it into the LRM carrier. To have much of a chance of hitting anything, the pilot is going to have to concentrate on what he is doing, hence the lack of main or even supplementary weaponry. Returning fire while trying to bring the rain would be counterproductive. No, his job is to run up, survive what the enemy has, letting the warheads falling like rain do the real work. In this role, the Charger does really well. Fast enough to close the distance, tough enough to shrug off AC-20s. At least for a very limited time. In this instance, advanced technology would actually hurt the mech. This thing is meant to be damaged. The expectation is that almost any part of this thing has to be able to go and for it to still work. No XL engines here. No fancy tech that would require special know-how. Nope, the bare basics that any half-trained shop dropout can get running again. Anything to get a mech warrior back in the cockpit and shouting longitude and latitude into his comms, praying his armor holds out until the rain begins to fall. In this role, the CGR 1A1 excels. It has other uses too, although they follow the same theme here. If you need to recover something in the middle of a firefight, the articulated hand of the Charger can do that for you, its size and weight allowing it to lift what a smaller mech could not, while its speed will reasonably give it the chance to get said valuable cargo back to base. Need a nerd within range of an enemy network hub to do a little hacking? That speed and armor will buy you some time for the malware to be uploaded. And of course, there is the far more famous tactic of piling its corpses onto your enemy until he is smothered, runs out of ammo, or is driven insane by your madness. The Charger's reputation is not completely without reason. Mech warriors assigned to a Charger trying to use its purpose-built features to push back enemies designed with combat in mind. Well, that's just not going to end well, as many people have thrown down their first Charger, doubtlessly found out. On the other hand, when used in the very specific role in which the machine I believe was envisioned, designed, and built for, well, I think you will find the Charger is far from useless. I'll leave that honor to my favorite whipping boy, the Vulcan. Seriously, Tex, tell us whose bright idea this thing was. In the meantime, let me know if my theory holds water. And before I forget, Tex, remember Ketch? Laser pointer boy who almost took our heads off during your Battle of Tukiad lecture? He really needs to fuck right on off sending shit to my Comstar box. This last time, it was a bouquet of dead snakes. The card read, Clan Snack Cobra Rules, with that stupid logo you guys used to taunt Crusaders. And he doodled stick figures currently, engaging in acts that not even the Canopians would let me broadcast, so, yeah. Whatever. I'd like to thank you all for listening to my thoughts on the 1A1 Charger. I invite you to leave a comment with something you'd like me to ramble on about. And as always, I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come. Hello, this is Adam with Dream Made Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.